everybody, we are right back in to the action for another day of the week. Welcome to the Monday edition of Chasing That Paper, presented by VegasInsider.com, baby. All right, how about those first place? My Miami Dolphins. What a game yesterday by Tua. Right up there near the top of the MVP odds board. Who would have guessed it? I would have. Coming off a decent show there on Friday, 4-1 on totals, almost went 5-0, but a meaningless touchdown at the end of the Rams-Cardinals game cost us that one. But either way, happy with the results. So a lot to get into tonight. Monday Night Football game, NBA, college basketball, NHL. We're going to talk updated Super Bowl futures odds and recap a little bit UFC 281, which my co-host for today, Ian McMillan, we'll bring him in. Ian was at the event live at Madison Square Garden. So we bring him in wearing a lovely t-shirt today. I must say, you look to be, are you in a grumpy mood here, Ian? You usually greet us with a big smile or something a little bit more energetic. You know, what's going on here, man?
Yeah, I've been just destroying the NFL this week, so not in a great mood. I think I went 3-9-1 heading into Monday Night Football this week, so not great. But I did hit your boy Tony Finau this weekend, so that did make up for it. So probably coming out even after it's all said and done.
Tony Finau,
yes.
And we were in agreement on the result of the UFC main event there on Saturday night. Alex Pereira came through as a dog for us. And maybe we got a little bit lucky there. I don't know if you call that luck, actually. He won, fair and square, not like some freak occurrence happened or anything. So yeah, we're gonna weigh in on that later. We got a lot to get into here. 6 total picks for today. Of course, we're gonna start things off with Monday Night Football. You like a side in this one, so get us started here, Ian.
Yes, I did mention I'm 3-9-1 heading into tonight, so you might want to fade me in this one, to be fair. A bit cold in the NFL lately, but I'm going to try my best. I'm going to take the Commanders plus the points, plus 10.5. against the Eagles tonight. This Eagles team, obviously undefeated, we all know this, but we have seen some holes start to pop up in their team. Mainly their inability to stop the run. They're in 29th in opponent yards per carry heading into this week, allowing 5.2 yards per rush, and that might play right into Washington's hand because they have increased their run play rate as of late. They're very much a pass-first team at the start of the year. It has not been the case over the past few weeks. They have a run play rate of 40.37% this season, but over the last 3 games, that has increased almost 10% up to 49.48%. So if they stay committed to the run like the Texans did against the Eagles last week when they covered, I think Washington has a good chance to keep this game close. Also, their defense, a little bit underrated, actually. They're also ranked near the top of the NFL in 2 key categories. They're ranked 4th in third down defense, stopping opponents on 32.76% of third downs, and 6th in red zone defense, stopping them on 50% of red zone trips. So their defense might be set up to slow down this Eagles offense and keep them in check. So I'll take the Commanders plus 10.5 in Philadelphia tonight.
All right. There we have it. Ian biting on the dog there tonight in Monday Night Football. I'm going to bite on the total. Sitting there at 43.5 as of this morning. Give me the under. In this one, let's get right into this one. So check out the this pattern of low-scoring games we've been seeing in Commanders games here lately. They've gone under in 6 of their last 7 games. Average combined score of just 34 points in those games. This includes a 24-8 game versus the Eagles. Only one of those games during that 7-game stretch, by the way, got into the 40s. So some very low-scoring games here for the Commanders. And Eagles, their defense has been fantastic at home this season, allowing just 14.5 points per game. I think they might be able to limit this Washington offense, which has just been radically incompetent this season. 29th in yards per play, 27th on third down, having a lot of trouble in the red zone in recent weeks. They entered the week with the 4th most sacks allowed. Tough spot for them versus the Eagles, who ranked near the top of the league in pressure percentage and sacks, while also being elite versus the pass. Not to be outdone, there are some bright spots for this Washington defense, as Ian mentioned. They're great on third down and in the red zone, and they've been elite versus the run. in recent weeks. So give me under 43.5 for the Monday Night Football game. Ian, you have a prop that you like in this game.
I do have a player. Yeah, I do have a player prop I like in this game. It is A.J. Brown to go over his receiving total of 70.5 yards. This line is straight up disrespectful tonight. This guy's averaging 89.8 receiving yards per game this season, way over his set total for tonight. And he even went over this total when he took on the Washington Commanders back in week 3. He had 5 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown in that game. Now, Joe, you mentioned the Commanders have been good against the run lately, not so good against the pass. 19th in opponent yards per pass attempt this season, allowing 6.8 yards per throw. And also, I mentioned with my last pick, the Commanders are starting to run the ball more. The Eagles are starting to throw the ball more. They're second in yards per pass this season, averaging 8.6 yards per throw, only 22nd in yards per carry. And as a result, Nick Sirianni has been calling more pass plays as of late. It's been increasing almost week by week over the last few games. So I'll take A.J. Brown over 70.5 receiving yards. I think he'll get plenty of opportunities tonight.
Yes, sir. All right. From the football field to the basketball court, favorite player prop for tonight. Sportsbooks are a little slow getting props up, but there's one I absolutely love for the game in Detroit featuring the Raptors and the Pacers. I'm going to take Bojan Bogdanovic to go over 19.5 points, coming in at -102. So check this guy out. He's become the big dog in the lineup here. Cade Cunningham out of the lineup for the past 2 games. Bogdanovic has scored 28 and 25 points in those games while leading the Pacers in shot attempts. And even when Cunningham's in the lineup, Bogdanovic has been filling it up. He has 8 games of 20 or more points this season. And the Raptors defense, not very good here lately. Last 10 games, 29th in opponent effective field goal shooting percentage. Give me Bogdanovic to get to at least 20 points. All right, Ian, we're switching gears over to college basketball now. What do you like?
Butler, Penn State. Battle between a Big Ten team and a Big East team, and I'm going to root for some points in this one. I'll take over 140.5. Extremely small sample size when I'm talking college basketball so far this season, but these are the stats I got to roll with. Heading into tonight's game, Penn State ranks 1st in the country in effective field goal percentage. Butler 31st, so both of them have got off to a hot start offensively, but we can't just have good offense for an over bet to hit. We also need bad defense, and that's also what we have here. 129th and 252nd in opponent effective field goal percentage. So we got strong offenses, we got bad defenses, and once again, I keep saying it's small sample size, but both teams have been playing a little bit of a faster pace of play than they did last year. Butler, 79.9 possessions per game this year. That's up almost 13 possessions from last year, where they averaged 67.2. And Penn State is up from 64.7 up to 67.7 possessions per game. So I like the over 139.5 between Butler and Penn State.
All right, there we go. Okay, so let's wrap things up on the ice out in beautiful Colorado. Gonna take a swing on an ice dog, a big ice dog. Give me the St. Louis Blues. Gonna be working tonight. Plus 165 versus the Avalanche. Let's get right into this one. So do not pay the Stanley Cup tax with Colorado. I guess you could say it's been an above-average start for the defending Stanley Cup champs. Certainly not in the discussion as one of the best teams in the league yet. And I think they're being overvalued simply because they are the defending champs. Don't get ripped off. You take a look at this matchup. It's pretty close from an analytics perspective. Over the last 10 games, 22nd and 23rd in expected goals for percentage, 23rd and 25th in high danger chances for percentage. St. Louis actually ranks higher in expected goals for percentage in 5-on-5 play. And the Blues are playing a very disciplined hockey. The fewest penalty minutes per game in the NHL. So staying out of the box will be key versus Colorado, who has the best power play in the NHL. So let's hope we get a couple breaks in this one, a couple of bounces. I think the Blues on the money line plus 165. All right, there you have it. 6 picks for Monday night sports action. Big night in sports. Lots going on. Keep in mind, guys, if you are watching on YouTube, do me a favor. Hit the like button right down there. Hit the subscribe button, too. We're almost up to 11,000 subscribers here at Vegas Insider. So give that a click here for your boys. And if you would like to tail any of these picks or fade any of these picks, I see a gentleman in the comment section. Jack Niehoff is the name he goes by, Ian, and he says, terrible pick by Ian on the Eagles. He says they're going to destroy the Deadskins. Maybe a little inappropriate by this individual, but there we have it. So, yeah, I recommend placing your action over at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Let me tell you a little bit about them. Kick off your day of sports betting with the king of sportsbooks. Sign up with BetMGM using bonus code VIBONUS. And your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. That's VI bonus, all one word, no spaces in. Your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 or older. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. All right, Ian, let's talk a little Super Bowl features here. So this is going to be a hot one on the debate shows this morning, discussing the Buffalo Bills. You're going to see this all over First Take and the Skip Bayless show, talking Buffalo Bills. So let's take a look at these Super Bowl futures odds here. I believe Tito has the odds board there. We take a look at the Buffalo Bills, 2 straight losses. I don't know, man. Plus 375, still favored to win the thing, followed by Kansas City, plus 500. The Eagles, undefeated. We'll see how they make out tonight. The 49ers squeaked one out. Was anyone impressed by that win versus the Chargers? I most certainly was not. The Vikings, I've been calling them frauds for the past month. Got to put respect on their name. That's a high-quality win versus Buffalo. Ravens on their bye. 13-1, Cowboys 15-1. You trust them in a tight spot in a big game? Absolutely not. Don't waste your money. Then we have my Miami Dolphins 17-1. Got to be fair here. I think winning the Super Bowl might be too much to ask for the Dolphins. Winning a playoff game, hey, I think that's realistic. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, watch out. 2 straight wins, 17-1 in a shallow conference, shallow division. Hey, I like the Bengals still quite a bit, 28-1. They were my pick entering the season. I could see them going on another run come playoff time. Tennessee coming off a win. The Chargers, too many injuries. The Seahawks, yeah, we'll see how they make out in the second half. It'd be nice to see them continue playing strong. And the Patriots, don't waste your money. 60-1. So here's the question I'm going to ask here, Ian. We're going to kick around some Buffalo Bills talk. So is it time to worry about the Buffalo Bills? And if they were playing the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City next week in a playoff game, who are you picking to win that game?
Yeah, I'd probably still take the Bills, but I will say one thing about the Bills. They got to get healthy on defense. Jordan Poyer being out for them has hurt them. I think they're 1-3 in Jordan Poyer when he is not in the lineup. But no, we need to settle down with this. Time to be concerned about the Buffalo Bills. If Josh Allen holds on to the ball in the QB sneak, if Justin Jefferson doesn't make the greatest catch in NFL history, the entire narrative this morning is not about how the Bills are frauds. It'd be the complete opposite. It'd be, these Bills are real. These Bills are Super Bowl contenders. They should be the Super Bowl favorites. No, they have the best offensive and defensive stats. They lead the NFL in net yards per play. They're statistically the best team. Good teams lose games. It's not like every time this team wins a Super Bowl, they go undefeated. They lose 4, 5, 6 games a season. They have some bad performances. I'm not concerned about the Bills whatsoever. I think this is actually probably might turn into a great buy low spot on them.
Yeah, there's 2 sides to this. I'm hearing a lot of buts and ifs from the Buffalo Bills and Buffalo Bills supporters about that game. Yeah, they got some bad breaks in that game, but they just failed in key points of the game where they were supposed to be able to execute some just god-awful turnovers from Josh Allen. And they're coming off a really bad loss prior to that, too, where Josh Allen played bad versus the New York Jets in that game. And, but here's the thing. Who won the Super Bowl last year? The LA Rams. They had a bad November. Who won the Super Bowl the year before that? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They had a bit of an embarrassing stretch too. So yeah, you shouldn't really act as if the sky is falling. This is still very much one of the best football teams in the league. If they were playing the Kansas City Chiefs, so in Kansas City in the playoffs, I'm taking Kansas City to be real. But here's a stat, Ian, that should concern Buffalo Bills fans and anyone who has a Buffalo Bills Super Bowl future ticket. Josh Allen, 2-8 in one-score games since 2021. This leads me to believe that Josh Allen might be a little bit of a front runner here, losing a lot of close games. What about the San Francisco 49ers, though, Ian? I mean, I picked against them going into that game against the Chargers. I kind of discussed, I said it's a different version of that team that shows up every week. Like, no one's impressed by that win versus the Chargers, who had a dozen key players injured and out for that game. The San Francisco 49ers cannot win 4 playoff games. You get a different version. You trust the head coach? 28-3, ring a bell, Ian?
Yes, I trust him. He's already been to a Super Bowl. They were one play away from getting back to the Super Bowl last year. They have
I'm hearing a lot of butts and ifs.
I would say they have the best team, the best defense in the. Yeah, but every team is butts and ifs. There's no team that's perfect out there. They all have bad performances. They all underperform
at execute at the end of the game.
Name one team that doesn't have a butt or an if. No, there are none. There's butts and ifs that go along with every single team. The San Francisco 49ers, I still think, are the best team in the NFC. I think they're better than the Eagles. And they won a game yesterday proving that they don't have to run the ball extremely effectively. Somehow, the Chargers slowed down the running tack, kept them to under 4 yards a carry, but they're still able to win the game. Jimmy Garoppolo made some nice throws out there. So, no, I like the 49ers. They did what they had to do. They had some bounces not go their way last night, and they still managed to win. I like them. I think the 49ers are going to win the NFC.
Oh, my God. They're one game above 500. They have some awful losses on the season. The one time they played a really good team, they got the living shit kicked right out of them. So, yeah, I don't trust the 49ers. And, hey, the Bills, man, I talked about them. They're 2-8 in one-score games since 2001. You got to be concerned about that if they can't get home field advantage in these playoffs, because they're going to be in some tough spots. We take a look at the standings right now, the playoff standings. Bear with me here. So, of course, Kansas City Chiefs, number 1. The Miami Dolphins, the number 2 seed. Ian, how impressed are you by Tua? What a stretch he's on, really protecting the football, unlike Josh Allen and Justin Herbert.
Yeah, the Dolphins can't play defense, though. That's their issue. They're never going to win anything because they can't stop anyone.
I don't remember the Kansas City Chiefs ever having an elite defense. Let's be completely fair here.
No,
they made it.
You don't need an elite defense.
I'm not saying they're the Chiefs, but
you need an average defense at least. They have one of the worst defenses in the league. They stink. They can't stop anyone.
One of the worst defenses in the league. They held the Browns to 17 points yesterday. That's pretty good. They've allowed 27 points.
22nd opponent yards per play. That's no good. That's bottom 10 at bottom 11.
What? I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but they're an awesome offense. They just take turns going up and down. Lots of disagreement here from
I'm in a controversial mood today.
I don't expect him to agree with me on everything, but yeah, there's a bell. Okay, let's switch tunes here. UFC 281. What an event! Ian attended that one in person. I was very jealous. He was at Madison Square Garden, having a couple of drinks, mingling with celebrities there. I saw Ian down there in front row with Halle Berry, I believe he was sitting by. So congratulations to Ian on that. So let's talk about what we saw in the main event, Ian.
Yes.
Israel Adesanya, I wouldn't exactly say he was cruising to a victory, but it looked like he was going to win a decision, possibly 4 rounds to 1, maybe 3-2. But we saw what happened in that 5th round. Pereira, there was just no quit in this guy. And all it takes when a guy's power like that, all it really takes is one shot. And he kind of he dropped Adesanya. Adesanya got right up quickly, but he wasn't able to defend himself. So I think that was a very fair stoppage. But you go back to the Usman fight too against Leon Edwards, a couple months back now, and he was cruising to a decision victory in that one. He could have played it a lot safer and put Leon Edwards on his back, picked up the easy win. Not a whole lot of people would have criticized him for that. Now, I thought Adesanya, Pereira was very tired. I thought he was going to get him up against the cage, maybe try to trip him and stay on top of him for the rest of the round. But I think these guys, this isn't a popular opinion, but I think they got to play it safer when they have a win in hand. And you can just win a round by taking someone down and maybe laying on top of them. You know, GSP was the absolute king of that. It wasn't popular. It was very boring, but it won fights. So what do you think about these guys kind of, I guess, MMA's version of blowing a lead, essentially here? A bit of a small pattern that we can see.
Yeah, Adesanya specifically, I think I mentioned this, or at least I talked about it at some point last week, is that I think for his best chance to win, he had to turn it into an MMA fight, a mixed martial arts fight. And that if he turned it into a kickboxing fight, which I figured he would, he was going to run into trouble. And that's exactly what happened. That fight ended the exact same way his last fight, the kickboxing fight, ended against Pereira. He's just got too much power to play that game with him. If you want to beat him, attack his weaknesses. This guy only has, like 6, 7, 8 professional MMA fights? Grapple with him. Try to take him to the ground. But Adesanya refused, and he paid the price, and now he's lost to him 2 straight times in 2 different versions of martial arts the exact same way. So I don't know. It might be boring, but got to wrestle at some point, especially when you have the 3-1 lead like Adesanya did.
So is there odds up for the rematch yet? Have you seen odds? You got to assume that how do you make the odds for that though? Is Adesanya going to be the favorite again?
I would say he might be a slight favorite.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be very interesting.
Here.
And I'll pick Pereira once again.
Yes.
So, yeah, very interesting. And Carla Esparza, the most underwhelming champion in the history of the UFC. You know, I felt bad for the UFC's promotion trying to promote Carla Esparza as if anybody gave a shit about watching her fight. So she just got rolled. And Dustin Poirier picking up another impressive victory. It'll be very interesting to see what they do there in the 155-pound weight class with the new champion.
I do have some odds here, Joe, for the second fight. Adesanya -150, Pereira +130. So almost the same odds as what they opened at for the first fight. I'm not betting on Adesanya.
Yeah, they're almost making those odds as if it was some sort of a fluke. That Pereira, it wasn't a fluke. I mean, it's a 25-minute fight, right? And he might have been losing up until that point. We see that all the time in the sport. A guy's losing up until a certain point of the fight, then he gets the finish. Happens multiple times on a card, I would think.
And Adesanya was up 3-1, but it's not like all those rounds were like completely dominant. Like they were all close-ish rounds. Like
yeah, it's not like he was
could have
beating
easily
the shit
been
out of him
2-2 heading into the final round.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a great night in the UFC's history, and that rematch will be one of the biggest rematches in the history of the sport. Cannot wait to see it, probably spring 2023. Okay, guys, if you like what we do here at Vegas Insider, you are going to want to check out the brand new Vegas Insider app. We've got up-to-date, easy-to-navigate odds for every major sport. We have all our latest shows, best bet videos, and podcasts, props, trends, futures, news, all on the Vegas Insider app. Download the Vegas Insider app right now on Apple and Android. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app. Woo! Indeed. All right. Winding right down here, Ian. It is now time for viewer picks. Picks from the CTP crew. Let's get into it here. Producer Tito, if you can bring a few of these up for us. Schreckengast is back. This guy usually averages a couple winners a week for us. He likes the over in the Islanders-Senators game. All stats 5-on-5, both tied for 6 and expected goals 4. Last 10 games, ranked 27th, 29th in expected goals allowed. 27th, 30th in high danger chances allowed. Auto home games have averaged 7.6 goals per game. I like that. What says you, Ian?
Yeah, I'm actually on that exact same pick. I wrote up my article at BetSider today with my best NHL bets, and that is one of them. I love the over in that game. Two teams that are designed for goals to be scored. A lot of offense, very little defense.
There we go. No hook on that 6, too. Lovely spot. All right, what do we have next, Tito? Houston, minus 18.5. This is Cody Wells weighing in. Big supporter of the program. Taking on Oral Roberts here. Not enough of a sample size to get in the stats. However, Houston 27-13 against the spread since 2021. Bit of a covering machine. In fact, he says, going back to 2017, they are over 60% against the spread. Houston being undervalued. Perhaps. Did you look at that game, Ian?
I did not. No, I will trust Cody Wells, though.
Cody knows his stuff. Yeah, give him a follow. Looks like he was born in 1981, so he's got experience now. Okay, what do we got here, Tito? All right, at Matty Puppy Sports, he was upset he had a bad beat on Jerry Jeudy. You recall, if you watch Friday's show, he gave us the over on Judy's receiving yards. Jeudy went down early in that game. Is he out for the season now? Did they announce that yet, Ian? Do you know? Jerry Jeudy?
I think so. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, he got a bad injury, it looked like. Either way, though, he likes the Celtics minus 11 versus the Thunder. Boston has won 6 games in a row and is 5-1 at home this season. Boston 2-0 straight up in ATS in games which it is favored by more than 9 points. Bit of a small sample size. Sample sizes do have to start somewhere, so I'm not criticizing that. The Celtics have also covered 4 of their last 5. Chasing that paper, those OKC Thunder. They're pesky, though. They were the best spread bet in the NBA last season because they were often a double-digit dog. So we wish our guy good luck on that. And I think we have one more here. I believe Obi knows. Going against Ian, he got Eagles minus 10. I don't know if he bought a point or bought a half point maybe, or I don't know. But either way, he likes the Eagles here. Home faves of 10 plus off an ATS loss versus a conference opponent. Put a few layers to this one. And or 10. Holy fuck. That's a lot, man. So let me read this again. Home favorites of 10 plus off an ATS loss versus a conference opponent and that are a 10 plus point favorite the previous week are 5-1. Wow. Okay, 4-0 ATS change from conference to divisional opponent. Divisional away dogs 10 plus off a loss are 8-1 since 2021. Eagles 2-0. You know what? All of these trends really have nothing specific to do with this matchup, but these are the type of things people throw out, and the bet just hits easily. So
I respect digging into a stats like so deep that has 6 different layers on it. I kind of respect that, even though it has nothing to do with tonight's game in theory. But
yeah, so I can't really say good luck to Obi because above all else, I cheer for the show's record. So I got to say good luck to Ian. I got to back Ian because I want to be able to come on tomorrow and say, hey, we had a great show yesterday. So unfortunately, Obi, we got to go against you, bud. We wish Ian and the Commanders. I'd like to see a decent game here, actually, and not turn it off like I did the Thursday night football game. Falcons versus Panthers the other day. Okay, this is the only time Ian will be on with us this week, unfortunately. Ian has some community service Thursday and Friday. So he has to step away from his work duties. But Ian will be back with us next week. We're going to have gentleman Gilles Gallant fill in one of those days. I'm excited to have him on. And before I give you an opportunity to plug Ian, it is now time for today's Handicapper Heat Check, presented by VegasInsider.com, your home for the best expert picks in the business. Since 1997, today we recognize Kevin Thomas, who can be found on Twitter at KevinThomas04. Kevin had a perfect 5-0 NFL record on Sunday and is 3-0 in college hoops over the last 3 days. Save 25% on Kevin's Monday Night Football best bet by clicking on the link in the description below. The discount will be applied during checkout. That's your Handicapper Heat Check. Stay hot, bettors. There we go, Kevin. All right, Ian. A lot coming up, a lot going on in the sports world. You're still capping hockey pretty strong. You got the podcast. You got a lot
Yeah.
coming up. So what can we look forward to from you this week?
Yeah, my NFL bets have been shit, to be honest, but I am hot in the NHL and in golf. Tony Finau right winner this week.
Yes,
So
of
check out
course.
my article over on BetSided where I give out my NHL picks and my golf picks. Also, I will still be betting on the NFL every single game. I can't abandon the road to 272 bets yet.
Don't give up.
That
give up,
podcast
Ian.
will be... What's that?
Don't give up.
I can't. I'm not going to. I've committed. But I'm going to be.
What did I say when we were talking?
I'm down a lot of money.
When we were talking, Ian, listen. Hey, when we were talking about the Bills earlier, I said how the Rams last season had a bad November. I talked about the season before, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they had a 1-4 stretch, maybe. I remember they lost that Thursday night football game, and Tom Brady thought there was another down lap. He lost to Nick Foles in Chicago. They went on to win the Super Bowl. So if they can do it, you absolutely can do it.
Yes. So the new episode of the Bacon Bets podcast, where I once again bet on every single NFL game, will be out either tomorrow morning or Wednesday morning. It depends how much I can get done tonight, because that takes a lot of time. So check out that.
Man, the NFL season is an absolute grind.
It's a grind.
Because when you're like me and Ian, we got to start working smarter, not harder, though, because guys like me and Ian would bring up, he probably uses the team rankings website for all of his stats, kind of like I do. And you go and you take each matchup and you go through this team ranks here, this team ranks this, and you do it for 16 goddamn games. It takes very long. We got to get some type of automated system in play. If somebody knows how to do that, where we can take these stats, let us know. We will we'll bring you out to Burger King for lunch or something like that in exchange. I think that'd be a very fair deal. Okay, so a lot going on here. Of course, I had VegasInsider as well. Chasing that paper, of course, Monday through Friday. Going to be rolling solo tomorrow with a big day for NHL and NBA. A lot going on up at our YouTube channel as well. We're going to be have best bets for all the primetime games up and whatnot. Make sure you are following VegasInsider on Twitter. That's it for today. Good luck with your bets tonight, unless you are fading us. And as always, keep chasing that paper.